season 1, 5, and 6. The man on your screen is the big reason why Uncle Drew has 6 30-point games along with 10 assists. To go with that, only Larry, Legend, and Hondo have more in Celtics history. And you know that guy, too. He's very familiar with the Boston Garden. Welcome back, IT. Of course, you're now rocking with the best. Bro Parrish alongside 2 champions, Derek Fisher, Jason Terry in the building. Game time is on your screen. 9 games in the association for your viewing pleasure. 7 of them have playoff implications. You guys ready?
Yes. Let's get it.
Let's get it. We got to start with a status update. Keeping you up to date with everything going on tonight. Russell Westbrook will not play, sitting out 1 game due to suspicion. Blake Griffin, Kawhi Leonard out with rest. The Cousins, he's out as well with that foot. KD will play. Luka Doncic is probable. Horford, Hayward. We'll get the update on them with Amanda Flugrad later on in the next block. But in the meantime, we have to welcome a very special guest to the Game Time set. Austin Rivers joins us from the Houston Rockets. Welcome to the Game Time set.
How you? What up?
Jeez, what's up?
Doing, man?
Of course, the brotherhood. We're going to talk about Duke and the tournament in a second. But in the meantime, we got to talk about the Houston Rockets. So far this season, Mike D'Antoni, the offense, what's so great about your skill set that's been such a great fit with the scheme in Houston?
No consequences for any shots you take. I guess that's been the best thing. But really, I've been able to fit in well. I think I added something they didn't have off the bench, especially on the defensive end. You look at our starting lineup with Chris and James. A lot of times they bring me in early to guard those guys, Damian Lillards and C.J. McCollums. You can name any team in the West. So that's going to be a big role of mine in the playoffs. And then another guy who can score off the dribble. Adding that.
Austin, you mentioned roles, right? And for me, curious about the Rockets. You've played on many good teams, Clippers, now the Rockets. A lot of talent.
Right.
Where do you see yourself fitting in role-wise? You mentioned defensively coming off the bench. Overall, where do you see your role with this group?
This has been the easiest transition I've ever had since I've been in the league. More so than the Clippers, more so than obviously New Orleans and D.C. This has been the easiest situation I've ever kind of just slid right into. What they do is what I do well. We only shoot threes and we get to the rim. I don't really have a good mid-range game. I couldn't shoot it from the mid-range game like you guys. I either shoot it out there or, as JT and you guys know, I like to get to the basket. And then defensively, people really have not really talked about us on that end. But this year we've been a pretty good defensive team. And I really take pride in that. That's something I enjoy doing. That has grown in my game, and they allow me to do what I want on the defense end and let me and PJ kind of run that end of the floor. So it's been fun.
I'm going to piggyback off what you said when you talk about your moves and in-game moves. James Harden, the Beard MVP, has one of the deadliest moves in the NBA today with the killer step back.
Yeah.
But your go-to move, talk to me a little bit about it. My ankles still hurting from that Clippers series when you hit me with it. But that right to left crossover is deadly. Where did you get that from?
I didn't have that really in high school. I got it when I got to the league. I just started working on it. I used to kind of be more of a straight line driver. My handle developed kind of my first couple years in the league. But that's my go-to right there is that right to left. And now when people sleep on it, I kind of have counters for it. But I remember that series. That was kind of my opening party to the league was playing against you guys. So
Played well.
Yeah, that's my first time. That was fun.
I mean, we had this basketball right here since we're out on the court. I mean, can we get a brief demonstration, maybe a reenactment?
Yeah, sure.
Come on, bro. You don't make me guard him again. You played the defense, brother. I don't think I want that ice.
You don't want it?
I
got to take advantage. He in the full suit. Let me get him real quick, man.
It is what it is. So we know Golden State's sitting at the top of the Western Conference. When you hear that Austin Rivers is the Splash Brothers stopper, you say,
oh
man.
He say he gonna cut the water off.
I say TBD, to be determined, man. With that team, I think we are the team that's built to be able to contend them. I really do believe that. I think we match up well with them. But I said this to someone else because the other day somebody in the media was saying, you guys are the team, you beat them 3 times this year. I said, nobody has their number until you beat them in a 7-game series. So until someone does that, they're still the champs. I do believe we can do it, but we got to do it. So we'll see.
March Madness, great time of year to be a basketball fan. NCAA, NBA playoffs approaching quickly. Obviously, people know you from being at Duke University,
right.
Blue Devil through and through. Talk to us about that experience, right? Everybody's going crazy about Zion Williamson,
right.
what his future is.
Oh,
this right here, I remember watching this and being impressed by the ice, water in the veins with the pull-up. Talk to us about that experience as a guy, 1 year at Duke, such high expectations, spotlight, people expecting you to do great things in your future. How do you live up to that and still be who you are?
Well, I think that's why the top players should go to Duke, in my opinion. It's an easy transition from there to the league in terms of just dealing with pressure. When you go to Duke, you have a lot of spotlight on you, and I think that sets you up for if you are one of these top players. When you go to the league, it even magnifies. And it's interesting this year because Zion has been the most polarizing player that I think Duke has ever had as a rookie since like Grant. You know, I mean, that's been the last guy. I mean, but Zion has this, especially with social media these days. They're comparing him to LeBron and all of these things. So it's been tough, man. He hasn't really been able to enjoy college as a kid. It seems like it just seems like since he got there, these expectations have been so high. But he's been living up to it, and this is going to be fun, man. This tournament is going to be really exciting. I'm so glad he came back and played. I think that shows his true colors, and I have Duke winning, man.
So you got right there. So you're not going to put Arizona can't win it?
I don't know if
Arizona is a rock.
You got to make it first. Oh, we can play each other.
We're in the same tournament.
I want to ask you this, though.
No tournament.
What do you think Zion's impact is going to be if he decides to go to the next level?
If he decides?
I'm just saying, we just have to put that as a disclaimer. If he decides to make that jump, what type of impact will he have as a rookie?
I think he's going to have a big impact. You know, people are obviously dissecting his game, especially with the shooting. But with the way the game's played now and called now with fouls, I mean, imagine him coming at you full speed, 275 pounds.
Taking that charge?
Break. It depends where we're at. If we out here, I am. We're right here, we might have to.
Right. Business decision.
Yeah, a business decision right there. Yeah, so I think he'll be fine.
No doubt about it. Well, thank you for joining us. Good luck.
Thank you guys for having me, man. Always. Big fan. Appreciate it. Thank you,
Austin Rivers joining us. Of course, right now on Game Time. So, just in case you didn't know, the answer is Lakers Bucks at 8, Pacers Clippers at 10:30. The question: who's on NBA TV Tuesday night? Coverage begins at 7:30 p.m. Eastern with the Auto Trader pregame.
Right, come on. Get out there, over there, right to left, baby. Come on. It's too late for a 10-day, but Coach, I can still. I felt something.
Hey. I don't know if you're on our insurance.
7:35 remaining. Tatum with the drive.
But I mean, like I said when I signed here, I'm here to help. Whatever they need me to do, I'm just here to help. I'm not here to cause any problems. And when my opportunity ups come, I know I'll be more than ready.
How tough is that to be patient, though? I mean, when you've done the things that you've done in this league recently.
It's tough because you don't expect to have to be patient after some of the things I accomplished. But, I mean, that's just, you roll with the punches. That's just been my story. So I always know to look ahead, talk things into existence, and whenever my name's called, I'm going to be more than ready because I work hard each and every day to put myself in that position to be ready. So I know how it is in this league. Opportunities come and go, different situations, but they always come back. So when that time does come back and I'm able to play and showcase what I can bring, I know I will do that.
Has Mike given you a sense of whether you're going to play tonight?
I don't know, but I mean, if I don't, I understand. If I do, I'll be more than ready. So I'm not. I mean, it is what it is.
What was it like playing with the Emerson? Talk to Brad Stevens pregame and see him in person again.
It's always good, but me and Brad talk every couple of weeks, so it's nothing. There's nothing new, but it's good to see all these guys in person and just get that love. Like right now, I need that love. Like I mean, I've been through so much these last 2 years, and then coming back and then getting out of rotation, all those things. But like, at the end of the day, I'm human, so like getting love and genuine love always feels good for the body, for the mind, for everything. So I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be around familiar faces, and Brad's one of my favorite people in the world. So it's always good to be able to talk to him and see him in person.
You're going to get the love tonight, Isaiah, whether or not you play a second of this game. If the Celtics decide to put up a tribute video, what would that make you feel like?
I mean, It'll make me feel. I mean, if they didn't, I wouldn't be mad. Like, I know the love is gonna be everywhere in this building, so that means more to me than anything. But if they do a tribute video, that mean the world to me as well. Because I mean, I put my heart and soul out here on that floor each and every night, and I tried to play great each and every night, no matter what I was going through in my personal life, no matter what anything came at me with. I was just trying to play hard for this city and this organization. So anything that they showed me tonight would be much appreciated, and I know it's going to be a lot.
What was it?
I walked to the Nike store today from the hotel. So, I mean, everywhere I go in this city, especially when I was playing here towards the end of my time here, like, my family couldn't even go too many places without being noticed and asked for pictures and things like that. So this city is one of a kind. I've said it since I've been here. And all I did was go out there and give 100% each and every time out, and they fell in love with that. So, like, that love, like I keep saying, is genuine, and there's nothing fake about it. So anywhere I go in this city, I mean, people seem to show real love, and I just embrace it because, you know, these types of things can be taken away from you at any moment, so I don't take anything for granted.
What was it like playing with the Emerson kids last night?
It was funny, first off. They were not basketball players, so that was the funny thing. But, I mean, I enjoy those moments. Like, even when I'm back home or in the summertime, I try to play anywhere.
Again, looking at the notables for tonight, no Russell Westbrook, Blake Griffin, Kawhi Leonard out with rest, no Cousins. Durant will play. Luka's probable. Al Horford is probable with a knee. Gordon Hayward is out with a concussion. With that being said, speaking of Celtics, we bring in Celtics team reporter and host Amanda Pflugrad. We just heard IT talking to the media. You just had a conversation with IT as well. How did that go, and what was the conversation like?
Oh, yeah, you can definitely tell how much he loves this city. And like he said, it's a real, genuine love. He said, too, just the way that Danny Ainge and Brad Stevens took care of him and as well as his family, that's something that is very special to him. And he said Boston's home. You know, when he got off the plane, saw the fans there waiting for him, he said it was just genuine and gets that vibe from this city that he is really the king in the fourth quarter from what we saw years prior to him here in Boston.
So we see that he's getting a lot of love. He's giving a lot of love back. But on to the current roster, what's the status with Gordon Hayward? We saw him go out with the concussion the other night and see he's out tonight. What's the latest?
Yeah, so Gordon Hayward is out tonight. I spoke to head coach Brad Stevens pregame, and he said right now he has entered the NBA concussion protocol. He's going to be day-to-day going through each test. He said most likely he will, in fact, be doubtful for the Celtics game against the Philadelphia 76ers on Wednesday night. However, he could be joining the team on Saturday, but he said that that's going to have to be a wait and see if he does, in fact, pass those concussion tests.
Amanda, it's the Jet.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, talk to me a little bit about the mindset of Kyrie tonight. We know he and Murray had a little tango in Denver the last time. Murray was going for 50, and he took that ill-advised shot there late in the game when the game was over. Kyrie was pissed, threw the ball in the stands. Will it be personal tonight when they step foot in the Garden?
Yeah, you know, I can expect Kyrie to have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. We saw Jamal Murray go on fire, go off, scoring 48 in those final seconds, tried to go for 50. And I was in the locker room when Kyrie Irving spoke about that. And you could tell that he was upset, agitated. He said, what kind of competitor wouldn't that bother? He said, obviously, going in that they knew Murray would be a handful for them. But he said it was a sign of disrespect to try and go for 50. So he said the ball deserved to go in the stands when you do something like that. So I think a chip on his shoulder is the correct thing that Kyrie Irving will probably have tonight.
Amanda, hi, it's Derek Fisher here. Question for you about Brad Stevens' message to the group as they finish this regular season. Some inconsistencies and up and downs throughout the year, but what is Brad Stevens asking his group to focus on as they finish the regular season?
Yeah, so the first number one that he has reiterated is transition defense. That is the number one thing that this Boston Celtics team has been preaching that they need to improve on moving forward into the postseason. But one thing, too, you saw the Celtics, they went 3-1 while on their West Coast swing. And I spoke to Brad Stevens about that, their first practice back, and he said that was the one thing he noticed with this team. Besides the winning, this group came together. They learned how to play together as a group, and he said that was one of the hurdles that he needed them to accomplish They were able to do that. So moving forward, it's just being able to build on that and show more consistency for this team. So hopefully they're able to do that moving forward.
You know, you mentioned the word consistency. Al Horford is as consistent as they come. We see he has a knee injury. Like, what's going on with him right now? What's his status for the remainder of the season?
Yeah, so we saw in the third quarter against the Hawks, he left the game, and a lot of the media members were kind of sitting there, well, we didn't see anything happen. He didn't look hurt, so he went to the locker room, came back out. We saw him on the exercise bike and then entered the game in the fourth quarter. We did learn post-game, though, that his knee was bugging him heading into that game, but after doing some exercises, he said he felt fine enough to return back to the game. But moving forward, Steven says that they're going to be managing some of his games, so they've looked at the schedule and they've picked out about 3 to 4 matchups that they have circled that he will in fact sit out just to rest, so he's able to come back with fresh legs to close out the regular season heading into the playoffs.
You're already in playoff mode right now, man. And thanks for joining us on Game Time. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
So looking at the Boston Celtics right now, they're 3-1 this month at the Garden, and we already know what happens towards the end of the season. You start to get your legs right. You talked about Brad Stevens. What is he trying to get the team to focus on? Looking at this team in the playoffs, are they going to be the favorite coming out of the Eastern Conference?
I think for some people they will be. Obviously in the Boston and New England area,
of course,
they will definitely be the favorites. And here's the reasons why. When you have one of the most gifted players in the league, in Kyrie Irving, running the show, not afraid of taking the big shots and making the big plays. It starts there. You talk about the veteran leadership. We just spoke about Horford, bigs up front like Aaron Baines that have played in big games and big moments. And then obviously their young talent at the wings with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Gordon Hayward has shown signs of the artist formerly known as Gordon Hayward that we all remember from being in Utah. So there are a lot of reasons why this Celtics team will be the favorites in the Eastern Conference, regardless of where they finish in the regular season.
That's interesting to say, but moving forward to IT, what type of situation is he going to be in moving forward with the Denver Nuggets? We've seen that he hasn't been playing as much as of late. Now he goes back home to Boston. You can kind of tell he misses it there and has reminiscence about that MVP season that he had. What's next for IT?
Well, IT is one of the fiercest competitors we have in our game today, pound for pound. When he was healthy, he was an all-star. He was the leader of his team. And so that part of his game we may not ever see again, but he's still a viable factor on any given team that he's on because he's instant offense. This kid can get buckets, and he will continue to do so, even at 85, 90%. Being in Denver last week doing the players-only broadcast, I had a chance to spend time with not only Coach, but IT as well. They said this is the best they've ever seen from him with leadership. He had not been playing for the majority of the season. They said he was the vocal leader, spiritual leader of that team, and a big reason why they've had the success they've had this season. And now that he was back playing, it hadn't changed. So now I see him still being a professional. It's funny, Fish, that do you know now at 30 years old, you are the veteran leader of a team? That is unheard of, man, but that just shows you the direction that our league is going. It's getting younger and younger, but seeing IT in that position, I don't think he'll have any problem with continuing to be that veteran leader for this young group. And Denver's a scary team in the playoffs.
No doubt about it. We're going to see that tonight. We know Denver is playing very well right now. So is the Celtics right there. IT, a man of the people, showing a lot of love back to the people and the fans that rooted for him in Boston. Of course, tonight you will see all of these games, 9 games on slate. Like I said, 7 with playoff implication. Crunch time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Jared Greenberg, along with these 2 champions sitting next to me, will be with him on Game Time. But what about Dirk? Oh, yeah, he's looking sharp. You look good, you play good, you feel good.
Looking good, big fella, looking good.